going to be showing just how OP M.A.C. guns are in the new Space Engineers update that optimizes the physics engine. This ship actually had some mods on it, that's why there's a couple holes, but none of the mods concerned the M.A.C. That's 100% vanilla, hence it will work in what I'm doing right now, which is, other than the colors on the HUD, a vanilla build for the game. It's a 20G gun, so the projectiles do go pretty fast. But just want this to get all built completely. And then just shoot one round straight at the bridge. And let's go back into spectator. And just to give you, the ship that launched the round was M.A.C.s over here. And the ship that just is lagging out from the impact is the legacy version of the Tantive IV Curlian Corvette by Perfect Blinky. And as you can see, that penetrated, it penetrated probably a good, let me actually have my character hop out so I can measure it. So it penetrated a good 10 to 11 blocks, and it went roughly 2 decks deep, possibly even 3. I'm not sure the scale, I'm pretty sure that's just 2 decks though. And if we hop back in and get back up, this time we can do it more centralized and do the exact same thing, we should get a fairly similar result. And earlier in the game, M.A.C.s were good, but they weren't this good. Especially on the first impact for a M.A.C., it's just devastating. I want to say that the best counter to M.A.C.s that I've seen is if, and this goes especially if they have the blast door block on the end, the blast door edge block I should say, their biggest fault is slanted blocks, and that's for an obvious reason. Why lag? Why? This was running fine just like a minute ago, probably because of the recording software I'm using. Okay, then random explosion, wherever that was. But as you can see, it penetrated just all the way through and did even more damage all the way back here. The amount of damage that M.A.C.s can do in the game now is just absolutely ridiculous. Because it looks like this was carved out to be a M.A.C. at this point. It's just so ridiculous. Let's actually aim at the engine bays, which appear to have turned off, evidently. See if that's just a graphics error. Okay, yeah, just a graphics error. I'm gonna aim for this little bit of engine up here, so I'm just gonna put the spectator there real quick. And let's fire one round. Flip back over in the spectator. And we can slowly see it coming in, and oh, gravity takes over and it completely misses. That is the #1 fail for this system. And to make up for that, you have to almost do it like a grenade launcher system. You have to aim a little bit up. Actually, I don't even know if that's going to be a good shot. I'm hoping it's going to be a good shot. But right about now, it should take a dive, and it did strike. So let's see just how much damage that caused. Actually, what I need to do is I need to make my warhead a little bit longer and include a timer block. So that way, 3 seconds after launch, the Artif mass shuts down. That way it's even more deadly. But it didn't do a lot of damage, but there's also probably a lot of it still drifting in space. Because only the merge block for it hit, really. So doing a long range strike like that isn't really effective unless you're going to do it along the middle of the ship. Because what I find is that the gravity sort of disrupts the shot way too much. And let's do one just towards the middle of the ship to get a good idea of what I'm talking about. But the gravity just disrupts the shot and causes it to go way like ridiculously down. It makes sense because of gravity, but it's kind of annoying when you're trying to line up the perfect shot and then gravity just messes everything up. And lag should be over soon. There we, nope. A little bit more lag, yep. Okay, nope, I thought it'll just like skip a frame and then your controller will just, and then the camera will just switch like, 90 degrees on you, and then it'll freeze again. And so as we can see, just one MAC caused massive devastation. If you were on this deck, you're pretty much dead. And there's even, I know for a fact that this block was the merge block from the round itself. And I'm not confident, but I'm also pretty sure that that blast door edge is from the warhead. It might have been from this section, but I'm 90% sure that's from the warhead. But I mean, just the amount of devastation that a properly calibrated MAC round can offer at this stage in the game, it's just amazing, and just so much damage. Let's actually just launch 2 more rounds very quickly. Alright, first round is away, second round is away. And boom. Wait for that to load in. Should take a while. That's the one sad thing about M.A.C.s is, although they do a lot of damage, it also requires so much processing power to get what they're doing down that it causes a ridiculous amount of lag. I actually designed this MAC concept much earlier in the game, just because I thought it would be pretty cool to have a round that, could have an infinite range and potentially bombard planets, but now I'm seeing their anti-ship capabilities with this latest update. Because earlier in the game, excuse me, the MAC rounds themselves only got up to like 20, 30 meters a second, something like that. I have a feeling it was more than that, but that's all I think that it was. Since I'd rather give it a little bit too low than a little bit too high, Anyways, but yeah. So 1 only made it up to like here. 2 more made it almost all the way into the engine bay. And actually, it looks like, yeah, it didn't just make it a little bit into the engine bay, it went all the way through the engine bay, the next 2 did. So I mean, MAC guns right now, and rail guns, or whatever you want to call them. I say MAC because Mass Accelerator Cannon. And I'm a big fan of Halo, so that's also why. But they are just ridiculously OP right now. So if you're wanting to build a Doomsday weapon, and actually let's really quickly aim this at this station, is because I think we've had enough fun destroying the Krylian Corvette, and I want to see how it fares against stations. But I mean, they're just so very effective right now because of the game. Modeling because of the game mechanics. So that one, I just saw I was aiming for like up there, and it hit down here because of the gravity effect. The gravity effect, that sounds. So then if I aim up here, I'm probably gonna hit. I'll show you where I think I'm gonna hit Spectator. I think I'm gonna hit around here. Let's see if I am right. That was kinda right, kinda wrong. Okay, so these, for some reason, apparently the blast door edge survives the impact. The merge block, it kinda makes a little bit of sense because, it's all the way in the back. But the blast door, I mean, that really shows how strong those things are, because that, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that is the large portion of why the impact is so powerful. Now let's hop back to my, stop it, hop back to my character. Try to hit the hangar a little bit. See if we can kill the combatants inside. Probably not. It's probably gonna miss, I think, because of the way I shot it, but it might hit. Holy crap. Wait, was that dead on the money? No. Oh, it was ever so slightly off. But this was mainly like a show of concept and just what, like, not why they're so overpowered, but the fact that they are so overpowered, in that if you want to build a doomsday weapon, this is what I would recommend. I've been playing Space Engineers since like 2014, and this is the most damage that I've ever seen a Mac do. I actually have a ridiculously long, if I can find it, I have a ridiculously long round that I was gonna do at one point, and I might actually just paste it in. For fun. Background. Real round was this one, I think. Mac was the bigger round. Pretty sure. I thought I can do that. Yeah, okay, so this was the bigger round. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Let's actually launch it from like all the way back here. Just that way it can, oh, no, okay. So, this. Sorry, I always say that to myself when I do that, because I only learned how to do that recently. Just to ship. Is there no gravity in here? Oh, there isn't. What? Okay. Let's see if we can push it a little bit. Open it up. Yeah. Maybe I just move the ship backwards. No, don't do that. No. Okay, maybe I just add a gravity generator to the front of it. Actually, maybe that's what I do with my rounds from now on. That way they are always accelerating in the wrong direction. No, I'll just paste one in. Paste it in the right spot this time. There we go. So let's see just what happens. Yeah, I found that this is something that I found. The longer rounds aren't that practical because what happens, excuse me, because what happens without the, actually, I'm gonna modify that round real quick. No, I'm not. I'll modify it later. So what happens with the current one that I've set up is, as you saw, the gravity pulls the one head, the head of it down, and then the tail still has that motion going forwards. So it kind of flips around and causes these long rows of devastation instead of concentrated areas like what I would want. Paste a couple more in here just to further demonstrate. So 4 in, boom, and it's always the exact same pattern. They always flip almost exactly 180 as if they're about to, go on a return strike or whatever. And then they, die or find out. They get sad. A little bit forwards. 3, 4, all in a perfect row. And all of them should experience the same thing, which is they flop and flop and flop. Which obviously, if you're doing a railgun like I'm trying to do for the Wasp, it's not helpful. So I'm probably going to spend some, it's disorienting. So I'm probably going to spend some time in game configuring a round that makes sense to launch. One that will, like I said, 3-second timer maybe, and then all the artificial masses turn off or something like that. And when I finish doing that, I'll make a video on it and spotlight it, because you guys saw the damage that the M.A.C.s have been doing. It's a ludicrous amount of damage. If you can get that much damage from that small of a package, I mean, it was the round that I was shooting in the Wasp was literally 4 blocks long. So imagine the type of weapons you could create that shoot like say 10 rounds at a time, or that do just the most damage that anyone has ever seen in Space Engineers by say adding a warhead at the very, very back of it, you know, that goes off after say, you know, 5 seconds after a sensor detects the ship that you just hit, or whatever. And I think that that would be like ridiculously cool to have. But other than that, I think that wraps up the video. And yeah, as always, stay safe. Or no, what was it? As always, fly safe. No, I forget my outro. Actually, I don't think I have an outro. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Bye.